Congratulations on your new energy-efficient home. Your home's designed to use less energy and at the same time to be even more comfortable than a typical new home. Your home has more insulation to keep the indoor temperatures comfortable. It's been sealed with a unique system called Aero Barrier to reduce drafts and decrease your heating and cooling needs. An automatic fresh air system brings air in from the outside in a way that's consistent, reliable, and well distributed. The space heating and cooling system is among the most efficient on the market, and it's properly sized and installed. And your home incorporates the durability measures that will help it last for many years. The structure and equipment that you have are rock solid, and I know you'll want to keep everything working at peak efficiency. Fortunately, it's not that difficult. I want to share some ideas that are simple and will keep your home working like a well-oiled machine. This chart shows a breakdown of how your home would use energy if it had been built to building code minimum standards. You can clearly see that space heating and cooling are by far the biggest individual energy uses, followed by water heating, and finally all the lights and appliances taken together. Here's what the energy pie would look like for your home. The energy slices for space heating and cooling have been dramatically reduced by extra insulation, better air sealing, and higher efficiency equipment. Now lights and appliances make up more than half the total energy use. These charts are based on pre-construction estimates, and while they're typically in the ballpark, each family will use energy differently, and so the breakdown can vary. This is especially true of lights and appliances, which are directly related to the lifestyle of a home's occupants. All the energy features have been reviewed and inspected by Earth Advantage, a third-party certification organization. Let's go inside and take a look at the features that make your home better than conventional homes and the small things that you can do to keep everything running smoothly. Owner's manuals tell you exactly what needs to be done to keep your home appliances and equipment in tip-top shape. You've been given a flash drive containing all these documents so you can easily refer to them on your own computer, tablet, or smartphone. Your mini-split heat pump is the star of the energy efficiency show. It provides both heating and cooling, and it uses less energy than any other type of comfort system. There are 2 units inside and 1 outside. This wall-mounted unit serves the main living space downstairs, while another unit is located in the attic to serve the bedrooms upstairs. The outdoor unit pulls heat from the air, concentrates it, and sends it indoors. This wall-mounted unit circulates air within the main living space. Vanes can be adjusted to push the air where you want it. The fan speed is also adjustable. The higher fan speed will push air further into the space, while the slower speed is quieter. In fact, it can be almost silent. You'll have to experiment with the direction and speed to find the settings that work best for you. I suggest a medium speed and adjusting it from there. Mini-split heat pumps and small energy-efficient homes are a great match. To maximize the efficiency and comfort, you'll want to operate a heat pump a bit differently than the heating systems you may have used in the past. First, find a temperature that's comfortable and stick to it. Once you've identified a good temperature, just leave it there. The heat pump will increase and decrease its output to keep the temperature stable. You just set it and forget it. Use this remote to control the wall-mounted unit. Stand near the unit and press the button. The unit will beep when the command has been received. Here are the basic functions. Turn it on and off with this yellow button. Adjust the temperature up and down with the plus and minus buttons. The mode control adjusts between heating and cooling and auto. Set the temperature with the up and down buttons, that's the plus and the minus. Find one setting between 68 and 72 and leave it there for the winter. For setting the cooling temperature in the summer, pick a number between 78 and 82 and leave it there. You'll find lots more control options such as the airflow speed and the direction in the owner's manual. Heat pumps need to move air freely. Dust can build up on the filter, so you want to clean it every now and then. It's quick and easy, really. You'll need to clean the filter every 2 or 3 months, perhaps more if you have hairy pets. To access the filter, pull the cover up, lift the filter out, wash it in the sink with warm soapy water, be gentle, Allow it to air dry and then replace the filter and close the cover. One more thing, allow lots of space around the unit. Never set objects on top. You want to allow good airflow so as the fan pulls air in the top and blows air out through the bottom and across the room. Bedrooms upstairs are heated and cooled by another branch of the heat pump that's controlled from this more traditional-looking wall-mounted thermostat. Again, you should try to find a temperature setting that works for you and leave it there. Heat pumps work better when you set it and forget it. A very small air handler in the attic pulls air from this return and blows it through the short ducts into the bedrooms. To keep the conditioned air from being trapped in the room, short ducts have been installed. Right there is something called a jump duct, and that allows the air that's blown into the bedrooms to travel back into the return grill here and circulate through the system again, even if the doors are closed. Jump ducts prevent conditioned air from being bottled up in bedrooms. This branch of the heat pump has a filter too. Luckily, you won't have to crawl into the attic to service it. The filter is right here in the return grill. When it gets dirty, replace this filter with another pleated filter that's the same size. It's about 14 by 14 inches and 1 inch thick. Over time, you'll see sticky gray dust accumulate on the return and supply grills. It's perfectly natural, but requires just a bit of cleaning. Vacuum all the metal grills, and that means the one in the return here, in the hall, the jump ducts, and the supplies in the bedroom. Remember, heat pumps need ample airflow. If a lot of dust builds up, it can reduce the efficiency and the service life of your heat pump. This high-efficiency heat pump will keep you comfortable all year long. It's designed to work down to minus 14 degrees Fahrenheit. Keep it clean with a gentle spray from a garden hose. As I've mentioned, heat pumps need free airflow and lots of it. Keep the space around this clear of plants and dirt and dead leaves and anything that will interfere with airflow. In winter, clear away the snow that builds up around or under the unit. You may see a layer of frost on the coils, a thin layer. That's normal, but if the unit becomes a huge block of ice, it's time to call the service technician. The ceiling fan in your living room is an important part of your home's comfort system. By maintaining comfort, you will also reduce the need to tinker with the heat pump temperature setting. In summer, run the fan counterclockwise to push air directly down. This moves air over your skin, and you feel cooler. In winter, the fan should turn clockwise. That pushes air upwards, and it redistributes the warm air that tends to pool near the ceiling. A slow speed will accomplish this without causing an uncomfortable breeze. The fan doesn't change the temperature of the air at all, but the way it's used can keep you comfortable and allow an energy-saving setting on the thermostat that's higher in summer and lower in winter. While the heat pump is your main heating system, you also have a backup. These electric heaters in the bathrooms. You really shouldn't need to use them, but set the temperature to 50 degrees to prevent the house from freezing in the rare event that the heat pump stops working while you're away. This backup heater is also handy for a little temperature boost when you're in the bathroom. Just remember to turn it back down when you're done. Because your house is exceptionally well air-sealed, you'll need a reliable source of controlled ventilation. There are two sides to this controlled ventilation system. One side expels moist, stale, and sometimes smelly air. The other side pulls outside air into your home through this inlet. One important way that your home stays fresh inside is by expelling air from specific areas where moisture, odor, or even nasty airborne particles are generated. The kitchen range hood is a vital piece of air quality control equipment. You should use the range hood every time you use the stovetop elements or the oven. I know it's loud, but cooking is a major source of nasty stuff that you want to get rid of. There's a metal filter that should be cleaned often. Simply pull it out and wash it with warm soapy water or throw it in the dishwasher. This is another location in the house that generates unwanted airborne substances, mostly bathroom odors and water vapor from bathing. It's essential that you run the bath fan to exhaust air from this area. Use the convenient timer, right here, to set the desired running time for up to 30 minutes. I suggest that you set it to run for 10 minutes or so after you plan to leave the room. A little extra ventilation time is a good idea. Over time, you'll notice gray dust collecting on the fan's plastic grill. Simply wipe it off with a damp rag. The kitchen range hood and the bathroom exhaust fans are called spot ventilation because they expel moisture and odors from those specific areas. And your house takes an additional step to ensure adequate fresh air all the time for the entire house. It uses a device called an energy recovery ventilator. That's a mouthful, so I'll just call it an ERV. The simple way to think of all this is that the ERV operates day and night all year long to keep your home comfortable. The ERV draws air from the outside, conditions it, and pushes it inside. When I say condition the air, here's what I mean. In winter, when it's cold outside, the ERV warms up the air by passing it through a heat exchanger. Much of that heat, roughly 80%, is used to preheat the cold outside air as it comes in. The ERV also transfers humidity from the outgoing stale air to the incoming fresh air. In this example, the temperature outdoors is 32 degrees and the temperature indoors is 75. If you just opened a window, you'd be letting in air that's 32 degrees, and that's not good for energy efficiency or comfort. The ERV captures most of that heat in the outgoing air and transfers it to the incoming fresh air. So instead of 32 degrees, the fresh air is much warmer at about 63. The ERV conditions the air in the opposite direction too. In summer, when it's hot and super dry outside, it keeps the coolness and the humidity indoors where you want it. Throughout the year, humidity recovery is a good idea in our dry climate because it helps to maintain the healthy level of moisture in your house. You should never need to use a humidifier or otherwise add moisture to the indoor air to maintain the recommended 30 to 50% relative humidity indoors. Preconditioning your ventilation air means that your heating system doesn't have to work so hard to keep your indoor air comfortable. ERV should run continuously. This unit has a switch near the laundry that allows you to turn off the ERV, but you should only do that in two situations. One, if the outdoor air is extremely smoky and you can smell the smoke indoors, turn the unit off for a while. You can turn it back on when the smoke clears. However, you don't want to leave the ERV off for days at a time. You'll have to use your judgment about when it's best to turn the ERV back on. The second reason that you should turn off the ERV is for cleaning, which you'll need to do every 3 months. Here are the steps for cleaning the ERV. First, turn off the power at the switch. Then push the tabs that hold the door in place. This allows the door to swing down so you can drop it free of the cabinet. Let that door just hang there. Now you're looking up at the inside of the unit and you'll see a big square block. This is the heat exchange core. Notice the black filters that are on the sides of the core. You'll see those filters on the opposite side of the core from where the blowers are. Find the retaining clip that holds the core in place. It's way up near the top of the core. A wing nut holds it in position. Place one hand in the center of the core to support it while you use the other hand to loosen the wing nut and rotate the retaining clip out of the way. The core will slide down. You may need to wiggle it a little bit. Lower the core to the floor. There are 2 filters on the core. Pay attention to the location of the filters because you'll need to return them to the same place. There's a label on the core indicating where the filters are located. Remove the foam filters and wash them in warm soapy water. Rinse them thoroughly and then dry completely before returning them to the core. While you're waiting for the filters to dry, use a vacuum cleaner with a brush attachment to clear dust from the inside of the ERV cabinet. And vacuum dust from the backdraft damper too. Test it to be sure it swings easily and doesn't get stuck. Also vacuum the core. Never use water on the core and be gentle. When the filters are dry, reattach them to the core, taking care to get them on the proper sides of the core. Place the core so that the filters face away from the 2 small air blowers. Slide the core back up into the unit and rotate the retaining clip to support the core and tighten the wing nut. Swing the door closed, push the tabs into position, and then turn on the power. If the unit doesn't work as expected, consult the troubleshooting section of the owner's manual. Since you spend good money to heat and cool the air inside your home, you don't want to lose it. The ERV holds much of that heat and moisture inside where you can use it. Here's an inexpensive gadget that can help you understand how well you're operating your house. It's a thermometer that also measures humidity. It shows the conditions indoors and outdoors. You'll want to maintain an indoor humidity between 30 and 50%. If the humidity gets too high, you'll know that you have to increase the ventilation by running the fans longer. You can buy these at any hardware store for $10 or $15, and it's well worth the price. Summer in Central Oregon is sure to include days with wildfire smoke that ranges from mildly annoying to downright toxic. Because your home is especially tight, it will protect you by keeping that smoke from leaking in through random openings. When it's especially bad, you may want to turn off the outside air control. You can keep it off for a few hours or maybe even a day, but I'd let it run at least a little bit even during smoke events. And always be sure to run the kitchen and bath fans. To protect yourself, you may want to buy a standalone air cleaner to remove particulates and some of the gases from the air inside your home. One for the downstairs and one for the upstairs would be ideal. An air cleaner isn't included in your home, but it's an important purchase to consider. Water heating is the single biggest energy use in your home. This is the electric water heater. The temperature is probably set to 120 degrees at the factory. Consult the owner's manual if you want to adjust the temperature. In just a minute, I'll talk about ways to save hot water when using your dishwasher and your clothes washer. Lighting and appliances represent many different specific functions. Taken together, these functions use more energy than space heating, cooling, and water heating combined. Your home's equipped with Energy Star appliances, and that's a great start. But the way you use these appliances makes a huge difference in how much energy they actually consume. Let's look at a few ways that you can use appliances wisely. Washing dishes isn't my favorite activity, so I like to let the dishwasher do the work. You shouldn't need to rinse dishes before putting them in the dishwasher. I suggest using a rubber spatula to scrape away the leftovers, then load them neatly into the dishwasher. Pre-rinsing dishes is seldom necessary. It's like washing them twice, which wastes water and the energy used to heat it. Always use the energy saver and air dry settings. Heated drying runs a large electric element that consumes a considerable amount of energy. With our dry climate, air drying works really well. The only maintenance is a filter in the bottom of the dishwasher that needs to be cleaned regularly. Energy Star refrigerators use a tiny fraction of the energy that old-fashioned models used to use. Even so, there are a few tips for getting the best performance. First, refrigerators use little heat pumps to keep their contents cold. Heat's extracted from the refrigerator cabinet and it's blown into the room, either out the front or out the back. The coils that expel heat need good air circulation, so it's a good idea to position your refrigerator a couple of inches from the back wall. This promotes good airflow and allows the heat to dissipate. These coils need to be cleaned at least once a year. The owner's manual will explain how to access the coils. Then you can use a soft brush attachment on a vacuum cleaner to suck up all the dust. Keeping the coils clean will allow the refrigerator to run more efficiently and will extend its service life. This is where you'll do your laundry. The biggest energy use in the laundry is the electric dryer. It accounts for about 10% of the average household energy use. A vented dryer also expels about twice as much air as a typical range hood, so it's blowing a lot of your conditioned air outside whenever it's running. The dry desert air of Central Oregon is ideal for hanging clothes to dry. A clothesline outside or a drying rack inside can save lots of energy and money. Clothes washers don't use much energy themselves, but heating water for loads adds up quick. Everyday laundry can be cleaned using cold water to reduce the amount of energy burned by the water heater. Modern LEDs use about 1/6 as much energy as the old-fashioned incandescent bulbs. Your home comes equipped with 100% LED lighting. They'll last for many years, but when you buy replacement LEDs, keep a couple of points in mind. First, you'll want an LED that gives off at least 800 lumens of light. That's a minimum. I find that 100 to 120 lumens is good for many locations. A lumen is simply a measurement of the amount of light that comes out of a bulb. Second, choose warm white for most uses. This is called color temperature, and you'll often see it on product packaging as a temperature in the Kelvin scale. Choose warm colors, meaning those around 3000 degrees Kelvin or lower. Your home is solar ready, meaning that several steps have been taken during design and construction to make it easy to install solar electric panels in the future. There's a space on the roof that's clear of obstructions, so it'll be easy to locate the panels. A conduit has been installed between the roof where the panels will be located and here in the garage where you can mount the inverter. It's nice to know that when you're ready to install solar, your home is ready too. Your home is special in many ways. I hope that the energy-saving features that I've shown you will keep you happy and comfortable. Thanks a lot and enjoy many years in your new home.